Tank City Soundoff. Uh, different. I'm gonna go sit in my chair. Different scenario tonight. I am not asking questions. Well, I might anyway, because Luke's on here like 4 times now. I might ask questions anyway. Tonight, sponsor, of course, the MLMA for the month of September. Tonight's a bit different though. Lookout Mountain Reverie, who I'm part of. So this is a first for me. I've never been interviewed on my own show. So uh, Luke Clement, guest host, first guest host, first. Yeah, might be the first guest host we've had on here. So I'm gonna give him the floor, and if he's better than me, he's taking over the show from now on.
Yeah, I want to thank Joel for asking me to do this. I think it's gonna be pretty cool to interview them and go from there. So, I guess the first thing I wanted to kind of find out about you guys is I just met all of you just like about 20 minutes ago. So basically, just how did you guys get the name? Because Joel talked about it a little bit when I first walked in. So where did that come from a little bit?
Oh, you want me to just take that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I named the band before anyone knew it. So Loco Mountain Reverie is uh, basically paying homage to the music of the 1960s, early 70s California scene. Everyone lived on Loco Mountain. Joni Mitchell, Zappa was up there. Everyone back in those days, you could see maps of all these musicians that lived on Loco Mountain. If you want to take a deep dive, there was a really cool conspiracy about it being a military base, and the people living up there were children of these people who worked in the military base. But anyway, don't worry about that right now. And then Reverie's kind of like daydream in a sense, so I just kind of put it all together and thought it was a cool name, and that's guess where the name came from. And then I told them, hey, this is the name of the band. So I'm sure we could have come up with something better, but
Awesome. Very cool. So how did you guys, what kind of influence you guys to kind of get this going and get it started? And can you guys also like maybe tell us what kind of music you guys play and yeah, kind of go from there?
Sure. I mean, Jen and I were married. We actually met playing in a band, playing old soul music, and
Okay.
it was a lot of fun. A lot of years later, we've been through a number of different musical genres and outfits, and this, I've never had the chance to play this music in a band before. This is the kind of stuff that I remember, sitting in my uncle's basement, putting his old records on when we were over visiting, and it would be this stuff, this kind of foundational, influential music. So it's really nice to get back to the roots of this and be able to play it. I guess the inspiration for this was Joel calling me and saying, "Hey, I want to do this project. Are you guys interested?"
Okay.
I understand he went through kind of like a musical epiphany, kind of listening to this. Maybe he'll tell you about it a little bit later on.
Awesome.
But it's really a passion project, to pay tribute to all this music from the 60s and 70s. And I think we've through doing this, at least I've found a new appreciation for the artist, and I'm hearing things in these songs that I've heard for 30 years that I never heard before.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of an interesting experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like, the music you guys playing from the 60s and that, that's really the foundation for a lot of the stuff that we listen now. A lot of inspiration came from that stuff. So it's really inspiring to hear that. So I don't know if you guys wanted to add anything else to that, but
nope.
well said.
We hit it all. We hit it all. I think I can definitely speak to this. Like, it's been a dream of Joel's for a long time. Like, anybody who knows us pretty well knows that we've been to California 3 times. Um, Joel may have had ulterior motives all those 3 times just to go hang out in Laurel Canyon. There's a spot there, the country store, and it's the porch where all these artists hung out, Mama Cass and David Crosby, and that's where they were all the time. That was their center. And when you go there, you can really feel the history, and it was like really hard to pull them away from there every time we went. But I think for a few years now, he's really wanted to do something like this, and it's just really cool to watch it all kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys are playing the 28th at Side Stage. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us some details and kind of how the day's gonna look. Starts at 2, right? You guys.
Doors at 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
Doors are at 2. We are going to open the show at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
September 28th. It's a Sunday afternoon matinee show. We need more of those in the local scene, and viewers of this show, they hear a lot about this, things that we try and do within the music scene, and this is a little, it's different. We're not playing the local music. We're paying tribute to a certain time of music, but we need some more matinee shows. This has been discussed quite a bit, and I thought this is a great time to do it. Sunday afternoon. It's all ages. Tickets can be at the door. I prefer, if you could, buy them for message me, if whoever. We all have tickets. And it's best to buy it from us because it's a bit cheaper to buy it from us. And yeah, I mean, we got tickets to sell still. So
Awesome.
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask too, like, do you guys ever have any plans of like maybe, because like I've done a lot of covers of songs and kind of made them out. Is that something that you guys have ever thought about, like maybe taking, what, like, I don't know, you guys did "Peaceful Easy Feeling" by Eagles today. I listened in, like, or any of the other songs you guys play. Is that something you guys would ever maybe do, or you guys just mostly want to focus on just playing cover shows and that kind of thing?
I have an opinion, but I'm going to listen to theirs.
So sorry, was the question, would we take the songs and make them our own?
Yeah, kind of like
Record our own cover.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
some of the stuff that like I do, like in the studio, I've done a couple of covers of songs and kind of made, like, still stayed true to the foundation of the song, but kind of added my own little twist to make it unique.
Yeah. See, I think what you'll hear, like, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But what you're going to
Yeah.
hear at this show is there's a number of tunes that we've stuck pretty close to the source material on,
Okay.
but there's a bunch of others where, we did a lot of listening to other interpretations of those songs
Yeah.
and adopted some things from that, and then came up with a few things entirely of our own too as we were working through the material. And
Our own feel, like the Bonnie Raitt one.
right.
That was like a New Orleans kind of, we turned it into 12-bar blues. So it's kind of,
Mhm.
yeah, I think we're taking some liberties already.
Yeah,
As far as
you're
artistic
gonna.
liberties.
That song is interesting, right? Because it was a sort of roots blues New Orleans kind of tune. What's it called?
Give it up.
Give it up. Okay. So, and then Desi, who isn't here, so we can say whatever we want about him. But he's a bass player. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But one of his big influences is Jaco Pastorius, right? Who's huge for bass players, not involved in this scene, but was kind of like in a parallel developmental jazz scene at the same time. So Desi kind of brought that feel to this song, and we all sort of just fell into doing something really, really different with that tune, that is going to stand out, I think, as a really unique one in the show. So we've already kind of like, we're partway through that process, and if we get to the end of it and we make a recording of these tunes, I think you'll hear a lot of us and our influences individually in the music.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, whenever I've seen, like, cover bands playing stuff like that, because, like, it's easy to just like take a song and learn it and play it exactly. But what I've always appreciated, like, when I've seen cover bands, is like, when bands will add their own little unique flavor twist to it and bring all their own little, their influences inside the track. That's something that I've always thought was cool, right? You don't have, like, because, like, even when I teach music, I always tell people, you don't have to play it exactly like the song. You can add your own little spin to it, right?
Yeah.
It makes it even more interesting.
It depends on the venue and it depends on the gig, right? We've
Yes.
all been in places where it's like people just want to hear it
Yeah.
exactly like it was on the
Yeah.
recording, right? I think we're all hoping that's not this gig. This is a tribute to this music. So it's not just a repetition of what's been done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are playing on the 28th, and then you guys have plans on playing some more gigs after that, or still kind of?
So if Fred Buhay is watching right now, me and Fred have had talks about that it's such a unique thing that not people aren't really doing it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be corrected here, but I'm pretty sure the Honey Sliders did a Crosby, Stills, Nash thing a few years ago, where we are doing one of their songs, and two of them actually. Um, but it's such a unique thing that Fred, Fred's taking the Neil Young tribute. He's taking on the road. They're playing Thunder Bay. They're going out to Alberta. I think they're going to BC. I mean, he's taking on the road. I don't think this is something that gets taken on the road, but I don't think this is a one and done. I feel there's so much music that we're not playing that when we do this one, there's that opportunity to bring more songs in and play an event again. Whether it could be a Christmas party, it could be anything, right? It could be just something off the cuff, but I feel that there's that opportunity to keep playing, and of course, people who have followed me in my journey with this, with from the first band, Ion Crush, Charles. How we met these two was through that. Charles, you responded to an ad, I think.
Yeah.
I was looking for a drummer, and then Charles came in, and then we all kind of became buddies here. And when the whole thing came up for this, I immediately thought of Charles. I thought he'd be great, and of course Jen, fantastic vocals. So it was just natural that we put this one together. So I know Desi, who's not here, who plays in Valiant Arrow and every other project that I'm in right now. Desi really likes playing with Charles. They're into that same style of music too, and this was good for Desi because he's talked many times about playing with Charles again. So it just worked out, right? So I feel that this is something that can continue, and we could learn the next set of songs, and maybe take it again, and yeah, playing with Fred. And I know Fred's sticking pretty true to early Neil Young on this one to give tribute to California, of Neil's journey down to California, where he met Stills and Richie Furay down there, and began Buffalo Springfield, which we're doing. I think we got 3 Springfield songs. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fred's touching any, but he's gonna be sticking to that same period of Neil. So yeah.
So I was gonna ask you, speaking of some of the songs, do you guys want to kind of tell the audience maybe just a couple of the songs that you guys are gonna be playing, just so we kind of get an idea? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Say all of them, but just maybe.
What blanking, what are the songs we're doing? No, we're kind of doing a very broad range of artists from the era, and a lot of them are, definitely some favorites of Joel's for sure. He was kind of the one who was putting together some different playlists and songs and asking for opinions. But we have, Buffalo Springfield, Crosby, Stills, Nash, the Beach Boys. We were doing Joni Mitchell, Mamas and the Papas, Love. Yeah. Eagles, Bonnie Raitt, Carole King, Linda Ronstadt. Yeah, so it's
we're doing Jackson Brown, but in Linda Rod's.
yeah, we're doing Jackson Brown, but Linda Ronstadt's version. So yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of everything that day. So we're really looking forward to it, and hopefully, hopefully people show up and enjoy it and like our rendition of these songs.
Yeah, absolutely. And like when I walked in, I just kind of caught a little bit of them jamming, and I could, I definitely felt like you guys had like this little tightness between all you guys. You could tell, because like I know, like I've played in a lot of bands in the past too, and it's so important to find the right, the right people. Because like a lot of the time you have to gel well with people. I find, especially with a drummer or anything else, everybody's kind of got to be on the same page, and I really felt that with you guys. So it's pretty cool to see that. Other thing I was going to ask, so how long are you guys going to be playing for that show?
We have it slated at an hour. Another artist I gotta say in there, because if I don't, a certain person who is coming to it has requested someone, but there is a couple Joni Mitchell songs that will be in there as well. So I don't know how we forgot Joni, but did you? Oh, she did say Joni. I'm just reiterating Joni's there. I just don't listen. Also, I want to just kind of comment on the of being a host of things. Mark, you commented that Chloe finally made her appearance on here, and she has. This is I finally got her on the show. First timer.
First time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of I'll be honest, he did kind of bully me into doing this gig with him. I was like on the fence for weeks, and then finally I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then we had a practice, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you were like, no, you have no choice now. And I was like, okay. But now I'm really enjoying it and having a lot of fun. So this is a one-time thing for me. I don't think you'll ever see me get on a stage again. yeah, probably going to be shaken like a leaf, but we'll see if we can get through it. So yeah, blame my husband.
I will say for viewers, it was minutes away from a call to Anna Rempel from Sunbreather and Deidre Boris. They were my if Chloe's out, I gotta find someone, and they were my picks right off the hop. But Chloe came back in and she's doing really good.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, speaking of local bands, I'd love to hear like who you guys like, who you guys like to go check out on a regular basis. I know Joel a lot already because he's my show buddy, but I'd love to hear everybody else. Like, who do you guys like to see?
It's Valley Narrow, 100%.
Good answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them speak on this. Luke knows who I go and see. So I mean, what did we see last weekend? 21 bands.
Oh my God. Yeah. So many.
I mean, I love and support all of them as my duty as Mrs. Peg City Soundoff. But I must say that the Empaths and Retrograde have such a special place in my heart. I probably listen to their music every single day. Just love those guys. They are only getting better and better. And, I just, most of the nights I end up going out to shows or to see them. So love those guys.
On locals?
I don't know.
We're old. We have a kid.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to get out.
We sadly get to-
But you know what? Through this, Joel's opening our eyes to a lot of cool stuff that's happening, in the music scene now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like me and Joel. Well, me and Joel, we go to shows, but we usually leave at.
Yeah, that's why we're pushing matinees right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think we made a record last weekend because we were up later than that, so it's pretty good for us.
Yeah.
How did you guys? Another thing too, like how did you guys get started in music? What influenced you to start music? I'd love to hear that too.
That's for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, I for no reason started band in junior high school, right? And just because it was there, and I started playing trumpet. But the band teacher was a drummer, and he had this drum kit in his office instead of a desk. Teachers normally have like a desk where they do their homework. He just went in and played drums, and so I would look through the window in his door, and I'd see him playing this, and I was just like, I was so inspired to do that. I wanted to be able to do what he was doing, and that was the start into it. And all through school, and some music lessons and stuff, I had great teachers that inspired me to play better and better.
Okay, awesome. Jen, how about yourself?
For me, music as young as I can remember, I'd be up in my room with my Fisher Price record player, playing the 45s and singing along, and just I've always loved music, and it's just been my I don't know, my joy. So I just I don't know. I was singing forever, never really did any lessons. Started playing in bands when I was 16 in clubs, and then I took it upon myself I found it limiting where I didn't have the theoretical background and stuff. So crash course, taught myself theory, wrote the exam, got into do an undergrad in it. And then I ended up falling in love with actual composing and switched my major into composition and writing. And I don't know, music's always been my one kind of stable in my life.
Yeah, and it's funny because we were just talking before the show how you guys had both went to school for music, right? And got a lot because like I took lessons, but I never got too much into the theory side till I started teaching, and then I kind of saw the value of learning the theory aspect as well. So it's cool to see that because I think when you're younger, sometimes you kind of ignore those things, and then you kind of see the benefit of that, right? So,
I never did voice lessons either until when I started school, and then was doing classical, which was really like not my strong area, but it really was good as far as to kind of build up my technique. And
absolutely.
my brothers used to just complain I sounded like I was killing cats when I would sing in the bedroom. So I don't know, but that's just I don't know.
How about you, Chloe? How did you what you kind of got you into music? Stuff like that.
I started when I was pretty young. My dad's a pretty accomplished fiddle player. So grew up learning how to play the fiddle, did that for most of my childhood, and then got a little older and joined band, junior high school, clarinet, saxophone. Put the fiddle away, just decided it wasn't for me anymore. And then I put music away altogether for quite some time. I always joke that, you know, like when Joel has shows and stuff, I'm like, I don't do load in, I don't do load out, I don't help you carry anything. I paid my dues when I was a kid because my dad was always doing gigs and they were always at these like crappy community halls and it was always a snowstorm and you'd be like folding cords and helping him carry stuff. And I was like, I don't do that anymore. I pay my dues. But yeah, of course I marry a musician. I meet Joel and he's like, oh, I'm in a band and I do music. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I know what this entails. I know how this is gonna go. And anyway, but yeah. I've always liked to sing, but like in the shower and in my car. So this is the first time that I'm actually gonna be, you know, kind of singing in public. So yeah. 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 Yeah, I'll see how it goes. It's been good. So I'm excited. It's really special for me to be able to do this with Joel too. Hopefully, you know, maybe we can do more together in the future. But yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Awesome. And Joel, well, let's hear your story. I think I've already heard it, but
Yeah, I think I've told it a million times on here. Just with my dad being in the band in the 60s, early 70s, I guess. I guess the short of it is I bought him a guitar when I was 18. I've always been into music though, but I never played. I just liked it. And I bought him a guitar and then he told me, well, I don't play guitar. I just sing. So the guitar basically sat there and I'm like, well, someone's got to do this. So then I started learning like riffs and stuff and then played riffs for 2 years and figured I'd finally put together a song one day and that's kind of it. And then it just kept going and you know, I've been fortunate enough to play in a couple bands and now with Valley and Arrow and you know, maybe I guess the last year of my life has probably been the most well, the busiest of it between this and Valley and Arrow. It's kind of taken off with things. So yeah, that's my story kind of wrapped up.
yeah. I wanted to ask too, Charles and Jen, did you guys play in bands prior to this, or is this kind of your okay?
Yeah, we've been on kind of a long hiatus.
Okay.
But we actually met playing in a band like how many years ago? We don't want to say.
Yeah.
But we met playing in a band. You know, I'd been brought in by a friend, and Jen was already in the band and the singer, and we just sort of got to know each other, and the rest is history, right? But then, you know, throughout the years, we've been involved both separately and together in different projects. You know, here and there. We lead very different lives now than we used to, right? So this is kind of like a coming back to our roots for us to get back into a group and play on stage again.
Yeah. So would you say so playing with your significant other in a band is it good or is it?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, we
I gotta answer
we
this carefully.
oh yeah, okay. There's like subtitles going underneath here, but we, you know what, we work really well together.
Yeah,
We
we
don't
always
we don't
have.
tend to butt heads on musical stuff. We're on the same wavelength there.
Everything else.
But everything else is
No, I always, you know what? I've always felt like we're at our best when we're working together, honestly.
yeah.
So I don't know. I love working with you.
Yeah.
You can ask Joel the same question if you want. Probably get a different answer.
I like it. He's like,
We blanked it all out.
Yeah, the microphone wasn't working there. No, it's good. And like Chloe said earlier that I think she said, maybe it was in my head, but she said happy to be doing this with me. And yeah, this is a big thing for me. And then one thing I got to point out too that hasn't been pointed out because I probably didn't tell you. Her dad, who she spoke of, he's actually part of this too. He's over in Boys Bay. He literally was on FaceTime. He literally FaceTimed our practice, which we just finished before we went live here, and he ran through the songs with us through FaceTime. He's you know, it's Boys of Wayne, it's hard to get out here, but he is part of it too. And you know, let me encourage people going to this show. You know, wear for the times, right? Where, you know, if you come in and you're looking like you're dressed in the 60s, do it because well, I don't know if you guys know this, but we are. I mean, mine's a little different, but I mean, Chloe's gonna be dressed for her dad. I think her dad's got a whole outfit going. I mean, it's gonna be a good time. We're dressed for it. Hopefully, the stage is set up. I have plans for that, just to really make it about that times because this is, you know, we've said it before. It's just such a huge piece of music, and it's probably, as Charles said, you know, I had this like musical revelation, and it was this. And to be exact, it was Jacob Dylan's documentary Echo in the Canyon that set this up 5 years ago for me, where I watched it. I didn't know much about it, but I knew Tom Petty was at the start. And we actually, if you watch that show, the music store Tom Petty is in, he died not long after this. The music store he's in, we actually went there when we were in California, and it was so eerie to be sitting in that same room where the documentary starts. And Tom Petty plays a couple forms of a D, and then he said, "You can't afford the rest." Before it launches into the show, and just being in that room was really cool. But yeah, that's for me. This whole thing, that's kind of where it started, was Jacob Dylan's Echo in the Canyon, where it really pushed that music to me. And then I discovered, I discovered the Birds. The Birds is another band. You start discovering the Birds and 12 string sound. And just everything that came from it. It goes so far back. It goes back before that. It goes to Bob Dylan. Everyone knows the Birds covering Dylan. I mean, the Birds covered everyone. I don't think they actually had any hits that they wrote. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask a really difficult question now. So,
He hands the mic to me.
yeah, it's a tough because there's so many good. But if you could name one artist out of all of the amazing, because there's so many that really influenced you and made you get into music, like which one would you take? Just any artist out there, who would be the one that you would decide? Because I know that's a very difficult question.
Do you know what? I think it's a question that I would answer differently at different stages
Okay,
of my
yeah.
life, right? And it's kind of like when I started playing it, like rock music was a thing. It was like the 90s, and then I started listening to Led Zeppelin, right? And I was like,
And
whoa,
t-shirts.
this is yeah, you know what? And I got this shirt, right? So I started listening to that. And that was like I really got into that, and then that just took me on a journey backwards in time to sort of like reverse engineer all sorts of things that I was hearing and figure out where they came from. Eventually sort of going back into jazz and learning about the guys that originated my instrument, the
Yeah.
drums, right? Like where that all
Yep.
came from.
Yep.
So it was probably Zeppelin that kicked me off on that journey. But there's been so much more since then, right? And it's an interesting question though, and I was thinking as we were talking about what about going the other way, right? Like maybe Joel, this is actually a question for you, but if we hear the artists here that we're interpreting their music, and there's been so many others, where do you hear that today? Where do you hear that sound? Where's it come since 1964 or 65, 68? Who's picked up the torch from these guys?
Who's the girl? Brandy Carlisle. Brandy Carlisle is really doing it. I mean, she's involved with Joni and her, Joni's kind of returned to a live stage, which is very rare. But Brandy Carlisle's definitely one that's using it. You're starting to hear it. Uh, there's a band called the Jonestown Revival, I think they're called, and they've actually covered some of these songs from the '60s, but they got that sound too. I haven't really listened to much. Um, Katie Pruitt, if I'm saying that correctly, I just discovered her, and she's got that older sound too. I mean, there's so many good ones, but I think those bands influenced maybe into the '80s and then into the '90s, and maybe the bands today aren't influenced from them, but they're influenced from a band that was influenced from them. I mean, if you go back, you talk in Led Zeppelin. I mean, you talk Zeppelin, and you can say whatever you want. You can go back to the '40s, and you're going to find something that influenced that person, right? Whatever influences you, someone influenced them, right? And I feel that that's maybe where this is all coming from, is maybe you don't recognize it, that that's where it came from,
Yeah.
but your favorite artist was probably influenced by someone else, obviously, right? Everyone like, think of it 20 years from now, that Jack White is going to be an influence on people. Who's the guy from like Wolf Van Halen?
Yeah.
He'll be an influence, but his dad influenced so many people, right? uh I mean, in our local scene, like Ronnie Ladbrook, Joe Carson. There's so many good ones. Derek Godfrey, who I had on here the other night. I had people message me after, and he taught them guitar, and they're like, "Oh, he's such a huge influence." But there's always that influence. But what influenced Derek Godfrey, right? You go back, and obviously Harlequin. He's with Harlequin, and you listen to him when they were, 86 and whatnot, right? But who influenced that person? I think the big question is who influenced who. But to answer your first question, though, if I may take that, my influence, same as Charles, I would say at one time, Adam Jones from Tool was big for me when I started, right? Then Slash from Guns N' Roses, but I don't really care about that. I liked what he did with chords. David Gilmour making every note count, right? I'm not a fast player, but there are some things that I like to do that do pay homage to that. If anyone who's heard our Shine On song is a homage to Pink Floyd in a big way. I would say now, though, looking back on it, I think a big influence is David Crosby for his time in Crosby, Stills, Nash Young, and the Byrds. I mean, I'm a big fan of Crosby. I'll probably wear a shirt with Crosby on it at this thing. So,
Awesome. Jen?
For me, I mean, when I was, like I said, singing along to my whatever records and stuff, I had the radio on all the time. I have to give my mom had a vast variety of different types of music. So I can't really pick one from when I was younger, but probably when I really was getting serious about music, um, Bonnie Raitt for one, like for as far as vocal, Peter Gabriel, Aretha Franklin, and then I started really getting into jazz. So it'd be like Dinah Washington, Billie Holiday, like kind of all the great vocalists. Any kind of soul music. And then actually Bette Midler was a huge, I don't know, probably, yeah, Bette Midler and Bonnie Raitt are probably the two as far as vocalists. And yeah, I don't know. I can't really say there's been one, but
Yeah,
it's
it's a tough question.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I would, yeah, I don't know. I would probably say for sure Bonnie Raitt and Bette Midler were two vocalists that I really
Yeah.
tried to emulate when I was younger
Yeah.
and wanted to.
Yeah.
So
And it's kind of funny because whether you're conscious about it or not, you're influenced by something when you're playing. You might not even know it because you listen to it so much. Because I catch myself even like when I'm playing guitar, I do like a riff. I'm like, oh, that sounds like I listen to a lot of SRV when I'm playing blues, right?
Yeah.
So whether you say or not, it's like Joel said, you're influenced by somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
Chloe.
I want to hear Chloe's answer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like all over the map. Like I always warn people when they get in my car with me because I'm like, I'm gonna shuffle a playlist that has 3,000 songs, and I'm gonna apologize because there's gonna be no rhyme or reason to like. You'll get Tool, you'll get like some strange indie artists like Fruit Bats. You'll get like there's so many different things that could come across there. Um, yeah, like I'll be honest, I've been on a Sting kick lately and I don't know where it came from. Like I just kept hearing Fields of Gold every time I'd walk into a store or like start up the radio in my car and I was like this song, like I can't get rid of it. Then we were at a wedding and what comes on? Fields of Gold. And then it kind of just got me exploring Sting and I listen to so much different stuff like I just want to see here like what have I been listening to lately? Like the Rembrandts, next like early 2000s, late 90s rap. Lana Del Rey, huge for me. Dido, Tasman Archer, Suki Waterhouse. Like it really depends on what kind of day I'm having and what I feel like. But yeah, anything from like 1930s to current, it's in there. So
Well, and I was gonna say too, like that's the thing too. Like you especially nowadays, you hear so many like genres crossing now. Like especially some of this new stuff, you hear like multiple genres crossing. It's really cool, right? Like I'm not a big country. I've never been like, especially modern country. I've never been like, I'm not a big fan of it. But like, you hear them like they're mixing like rap with like they're doing all these things, right? And it's kind of cool. It's like, why not try something different, right? And see what happens, right? So yeah. Joel, did you want to add anything? You look like you were.
Oh, I'm just used to not waiting here. I used to be the guy who's talking. I think the only thing I'll just add to it, as I said, Chloe's dad, Des, he's involved in this. Her brother, Desi, who's also in Valiant Arrow. So it's kind of, how many is there? 5, 6 of us? 6 of us. And yeah, just make sure you get out to the show. It's gonna be a good time. And like Fred's band, Fred's Prairie Moon Band is so good. There are some phenomenal players. JJ from Suburban Funk is in there. I mean, when you see them, you'll recognize them from if you just go to shows around town. It's just this super group of people. Deb Falk's in there. It's just a phenomenal group of players, and they're going to go on second. Just in case we need more time, they have quite the catalog of Neil songs, and I mean Fred's just like Neil Young. Like you think he's Neil Young. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, I remember I met him at Tap House. They were there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were playing there. Yeah.
Yeah, they played the Forest Fire benefit.
Yeah, yeah.
That was right after I saw him. Yeah.
That's where I met him.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, it's kind of cool because Neil Young is like the Winnipeg connection to this music, right?
Yeah.
You know, so we're kind of like bringing it all back home.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I'm just gonna say a quick story before we kind of wrap up the show because we're on the topic of Neil Young. So I was at a party. A student of mine hosted a party, and I met one of her friends. Like she's older. She's like in her 70s. She was a student of mine, and one of her friends was there, and he had a band. Okay, back in the day, and they had this guy come try out to be the guitarist, and they're things were going okay, but they're like, I don't know, this guy's just not quite cutting it. Anyways, long story short, this guy that they kicked out of their band was Neil Young.
Oh my gosh.
He just wasn't good enough. Yeah.
And then they realized, then they saw him absolutely climb the ranks, and they're like kicking themselves in the butt afterwards, right?
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a crazy story. Like, like I'm at this random party, and this guy's talking about it, and he's talking about he's played with Neil Young, and yeah. So, anyways, just thought it was a cool story.
Mm.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Pretty unreal, right? So, guys, next time you go to kick out the guy, make sure it's the right choice.
If you just on the Neil Young thing, and Charles is right. It's really cool to have Fred involved in this with the Neil Young connection to California, and it almost didn't happen. Anyone who knows that story, he was going one way on Sunset, Stills was going the other way, and they knew each other from before, but they met on the street, and Buffalo Springfield starts, and the rest is history. Then everything takes off, and everything happens after that. So anyway, yeah, it's really cool to have Fred involved in that. So Fred, if you're watching, appreciate you jumping in on this too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, the 28th, side stage, 2 p.m. Make sure you grab your tickets because it's going to be an absolute banger. I got a little glimpse of it, and it's sounding awesome. So, I don't know if you guys want to add anything else.
No, thanks for hosting the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but it's a lot of fun.
How do you do? What's your time at?
Right, 37
Holy.
minutes. I think it did pretty
We
good.
went over time.
First
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
First time going, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really fun. It was great to meet you guys, and
Yeah.
really looking forward to the 28th. It's going to be an awesome show. Yeah.
And I guess just one last thing to add, just the people coming out. Thanks to everyone who bought tickets. Thanks to Murray G. Bram, they're sponsoring it, or one of the sponsors on it. There's a couple more that might come in, but also there is word that John Enerson is going to be there as well, and that actually scares the shit out of me that I'm going to play this music that he was involved in front of him. So now that I just thought of that, I don't know if I want to do it now, guys. But John, he's a big influence on me wanting to learn more about the scene too. He's been on here twice, right? And I just thought of it when I looked at the time. So I'm like, how long did you go? And I was going to say, you should talk to John because he'll go 2 hours with him. But yeah, John Enerson, Lisa Lewis, I think they're coming out. A couple other surprise guests apparently coming out too. So yeah, come down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of familiar faces at that show. Generally, that's just before we finish too. Like, and everyone's so supportive in Winnipeg. So I've seen so many people that I've seen at other shows, at a bunch of different local shows. So it's a lot of fun to chat, listen to some great music, and have fun for not a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So it's that's what's so great about it. Absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and it's been a blast.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.